Hey guys, hey, it's Mr. Lindhe here, and today we're going to talk about multiplying whole numbers by decimals, and we're going to use the standard method. We're just going to do whole numbers. We're not going to do decimals by decimals yet. We're going to work on using the standard method to do whole numbers multiplied by decimals. So what I like to do is just jump right in as usual. Let's say that we have 16 times 0.4. First thing I want to tell you in multiplying decimals, you do not have to line up the decimals. So like if this, as we go, the place values, they do not have to line up. You don't have to put a 0 on the end. You don't have to make that 16.0 or anything like that. Just don't worry about it. There's a little trick at the end that I'll teach you. Okay, here we go. So multiplying these out, we have 4 times 6. It's 24. Then you go 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Now you have 64. Your answer is not 64 because you have to go to this one right here. Look at it, and then you see the decimal right here. You count how many digits are to the right of the decimal, and there's 1. So that's going to tell you how many times. So you go down here in your answer, you put a decimal at the end for 64, and you have to go left the number of digits that are past the decimal and the one above it. So you go left. The answer is actually 6.4. Okay, maybe kind of confusing, but it becomes normal after we do it a couple times. Okay, so 16 times 0.4 is 6.4. Okay, and this is really tough, as a lot of people say, hey, Mr. Lindhe, the answer is smaller than what we started with, and we multiplied. And I said, yeah, I know that, because if you look at it, and I write it this way, and then I'm going to write it as times 4/10 is what it was. So when we did this last year in 4th grade, you know that you multiply straight across, and that would be 64, and then divide it by 10. And when you divide by 10, you have to move the decimal back. So let's say you have 64.0. If you divide by 10, you have to move the decimal back. It would be 6.4. So that's why. And 0.4 is less than 1. So they're actually asking for only, if 0.4, we could say that it's 40% of the number. So we're asking for a little bit of the number. How much of, well, it is 40% of 16. That's what it's asking. Okay? Let's go to the next one. We have 53 times 0.2, or times 2/10. So we're really asking for only 20% of this number. So we're really going to get a lot smaller answer. So when you multiply it through, 2 times 3 is 6, and then 2 times 5 is 10. And you notice I'm not going to go through and put the 0 through, because then I would just have to put a bunch of zeros underneath. And I don't want to do that. But I'm going back to my decimal place. I count over. There's 1. So I know I have to move this decimal 1 to the left. My answer is 10.6. And that is 20% of 53, or 2/10 of 53 equals 10.6. Okay. Next, I'm going to, let's try another one. Let's say 24 times 0.5. Now, real good thing to remember is 0.5 equals 5/10. And then if you reduce it, you know, that equals 1/2. So actually, we're asking for what is half of 24. I'm saying that our answer is going to be 12. Because 12 times 2 is 24. So let's see, if I multiply this through, hopefully our answer is going to show 12. Okay? So let's go. 5 times 4 is 20. And then 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. And then remember, I'm over here. There's 1 digit after it, so I got to move it back. The answer is 12.0. Look at that. Half of 24 is 12. It's a pretty nice, pretty neat little thing to do with 0.5, remembering that it's 1/2. Okay, I'm going to end with a little bit tougher one. I'm going to put in a 2-digit decimal right here. So you have 1.5, or 1 and 5/10. So we have 78 times 1 and 5/10. And basically all you have to do is remember to multiply it the same way that you would do any other standard multiplication, and just forget about the decimal until the end, okay? So let's multiply it out. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 7 is 35. Plus 4 is 39. And then remember, you got to put in your place value 0. I'm going to cross out what I carried. All right, so we have 1 times 8 is 8. And 1 times 7 is 7. Same old, add them up. Just like our song that we're working on. Multiplying decimals. Okay, and then that's 4, and that's 11. So now I have, right now it says the answer is 1,170, but I have to remember that I have to go back up here and look for any decimals that in the multiplication problem. There's one right here, and there's 1 digit to the right, meaning that I got to go here, and I have to move 1 digit to the left. My answer is 117. Okay, guys, I hope this is a little bit helpful. We'll be working on definitely do a lot more of these in class, and have a good one.